Thank you for tuning in to another episode of my Veterans to Success podcast. You probably know by now, my mission is to help 1 million veterans and entrepreneur business owners achieve the dreams, goals, and aspirations they deserve. That is why I created the Veterans to Success podcast, because I get to interview guys, men and women, who want to share their fascinating stories with you about their time before, during and after their time in the military, so you can benefit and overcome your challenges. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be mesmerized, astounded, and entertained. Hello and welcome to another episode of Veterans to Success, the podcast where I get to speak to seemingly ordinary people with extraordinary stories. And today I've got with me today Michael Robertson, Tant, otherwise known as Mike. Hello, Mike. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, Joe. Thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm fantastic. Thank you. And I can see you're on stag, so to speak, in Neville Barracks, in your green kit. That stuff that used to bring me out in a rash. Or it would do now if I put it on. At the time, it was all right. So, you know the score. We've known each other a while now, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, for a year, just over a year, I think.
Yeah, probably maybe a bit more actually, but yeah, definitely over a year. So, what we're going to do, we're going to dive straight in first. I'd like you to tell me what was going on when you were a wee lad, right? So when you were a young lad, where do you want to start?
Yeah, well, I was born in a place called Cardendon in Fife. Lived there for 2 years, moved to Edinburgh with my parents, and then sadly my mum and dad separated when I was 3 years old. So I lived with my mum, and unfortunately at the time my mum was more focused on going out with friends and looking after the kids. So me and my two sisters ended up in care for about 2 years. And then I moved to Fife with my gran and granddad, my mum's mum and dad. Sorry, my dad's mum and dad.
Yeah.
Lived there from 5 to 8 years old. Quite a happy time. When I was well looked after, no complaints. And then my mum got her act together, so she took us back to Edinburgh. And we had quite a good upbringing from then on. I wouldn't say all well off or anything like that, but we weren't poor. We were fed, we were clothed, had nice holidays and stuff. So it wasn't anything bad.
Good.
Going up through school, I wouldn't say I put the effort in. I'd try and make an excuse not to go. Or
So you weren't exactly your star pupil academic sort, then, were you?
Definitely not. I think the only grade that I got at school that I passed at school was physical education, because I like my sport. So I think that's the only grade I got. So sadly, I've had to do my GCSEs and that again, which I've now passed.
Congratulations!
Yeah,
big star. Yeah, well done.
Good. So at school I was in the wrong people, just causing a nuisance, breaking windows, getting in trouble with police, etc., etc. And then it got to a point where the police came knocking one day and says, "Look, if you don't back up the ideas, you're going to be getting arrested as you get older, end up in prison, etc." So I was like, "Oh, don't want that. I want to try and make something." So
now I know you're skimming through this, right, mate? And I did say that I was going to pull you on a few things, right?
Yeah.
Because right, I know how easy it is to get in the wrong crowd, and like you'd already had an up and down childhood, hadn't you? Right, which had tested you, and you've been moved around. How did that impact on you at the time? I know it's a long time ago, but can you recall what it did to you and how it made you view life?
Yeah, I just thought, I felt like in my early years, I thought I wasn't settled. I thought, why me? Why am I not initially in a living home? Why am I in a care system? Now, I know there's loads of people that end up in care. Now, I'm not saying I'm the only one, but I thought, well, why me? But then when I went to live in Fife with my gran and granddad, I thought, this is what it feels like to be a loving family. Like, they took me in. Yes, I was a grandson, but they took me in as if I was their own, and they treated.
Yeah.
So they had my uncle and auntie as their kids, and they're only 13, 14 years older than me, but they treated us the same. Even so, like for example, at Christmas time, we all got the same sort of amount of gifts. If I got in trouble, I get told off. If they got in trouble, I get told off. So there wasn't any special treatment. And also I kept in touch with them, like all four, my uncle, auntie, my gran, and my granddad, as I was growing up. Sadly, my gran's now passed away.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Also that's life, isn't it? Life cycle. But then when I moved back to Edinburgh, I thought, okay, my mum's sort of got her act together. Let's see what happens. And then, as I said, we had a good upbringing from then on. Do you mean she made mistakes that she apologised for? We moved on from it. I thought, yeah, it's good. Again,
Right.
nice holidays, doing nice stuff. And I thought, yeah, loving family. But just a teenage boy, innit?
Yeah, and then the
you-
coppers decided to have a little word, a wee word in your ear.
yeah, well, that was a kick out the backside, Joe, if I'm honest, because I thought myself, I thought I was untouchable. Do you mean? I thought, oh yeah, I'm not getting caught. Do you know? And then obviously we start finding out who you are, and you're on a radar, mate. If you don't watch what you're doing, and I thought, right, okay, something's got to change. Do you mean? So that's when, and I think looking back at it, my mate said to me, and as he said that, he was laughing. He says, "Why don't we join the Air Force or join the Army?" I said, "Oh yeah, that sounds a good idea." So we got the bus into town, went to the careers office, and also applied to join. So that was in September 1996. I initially applied.
And you remember that date, don't you? And what did you think when you were going in? Like, what was going through your mind at the time?
I was actually excited because I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to join the army. And in my head, I don't know why, I thought, this is it. I'm joining today. I'll be in the army today. Also,
Yeah.
not knowing how the system worked. Do you mean? And went in, and I can remember the lady that met us. She's in. I'm sure she's in the RAF uniform actually, but she's nice and friendly, doing chatting away. And she's like, "So you want to join the army? What do you want to do?" I was like, "Oh, I want to kill people." And she's like,
Straight to
"Okay,
the point then. No mucking
yeah."
about. You just want to kill people, right?
And she's like, "I've got a job for you." And she went away, got one of her colleagues who was he was a sergeant, and he was in a unit called the Royal Scots. He's like, "Oh, do you want to kill people? Not from. Join my unit. We kill people." And looking back on it, Joe, I don't think I've actually shot anyone. Do you know what I mean?
And I'm pleased about that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been a few war zones. I've been shot at, but I don't actually think I've actually killed anyone. Which also it's good. You mean? But you think yourself back then. You think yourself, if I knew now if I know now what I didn't know then, I'd have said, right, let's get a trade. I mean, everyone I speak to that says I'm joining the army, and I want to join the infantry, I want to join the paras, I want to join the marines, whatever it is, I thought, get yourself a trade. Get a trade, the best thing you can do. I mean, and I wish I'd done it myself. Don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed my time in the military, which we'll chat about in a bit. But yeah, if I had my time again, I'd get a trade, definitely.
Yeah, and of course you can get a trade in the military. I was in the engineers, and though I'm not a plumber now, I did qualify as a plumber because you get extra beer tokens, don't you, when you get a qualification? So that's always handy bit of kit. So you joined. What was training like in the Royal Scots?
So we've done our phase one training at a place called Glencoe Barracks in Pennycook, and we started in November, so it was a winter course, and it was absolutely brutal. I think it's like 2 or 3 degrees with snow on the ground. I mean, we were up in the morning getting runs and absolutely beasted all day, whipping, cleaning, marching, you name it, getting shown how to wash, getting shown how to iron your kit. And looking back on it, you think to yourself, well, it's amazing how many people didn't know how to do basics, how to wash, how to shave. Do you mean? But yeah, no, it was good. I mean, I enjoyed phase two better because that's more out in the field and doing the infantry stuff. Your bread and butter, do you mean? Set your attacks, between attacks, all that good stuff. So I enjoyed that more. But it was good for me because it was a bit of a discipline and get me back in line.
Yeah, and like the phase one in the engineers, I remember back at Gibraltar Barracks, and our phase one was in 2-8 Squadron, and that was infantry training because
Right.
engineers have to be training infantry. And then on phase two was our skills training on combat engineering. So yeah, I totally with you. Like the the phase one is brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
'Cause-
I think we do that to sort of shock and catch you, don't they? To just
yeah,
say,
yeah, yeah.
right, you're not. I'm just backtracking there. Actually, when I was when I was about week 2 of training, my oldest nephew was born, my sister's first boy. I was
Right.
like, I want to leave now. I want to go and see him. And you can't just leave, mate. You're here. You can't just walk out the camp. I was like, all right, well, I'll leave the military. And my my nana and papa, who's my mum's mum and dad, they came down and like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Do not throw a potential career away just because you ain't going to see your nephew. He'll be here when you finish training. And I'm
Oh,
glad
that
they
was
did that. I'm glad they did that because like, if it didn't, I probably would have ruined myself. Do you mean?
yeah, that's top information, which is what we'll talk about, like the strength and support and the value of having a good coach or mentor. And like that was a bit of coaching for you,
Yeah, it
wasn't
was. Yeah,
it? Yeah, really. Look, mate, you're going to wreck your life just for a few days or a few weeks. So yeah,
yeah,
good.
yeah.
And I don't think they would have given you uh, a pass goal, would they? You'd have gone to
Nah,
you'd have gone
nah.
to
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I would have been in big trouble. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's funny as things when you back then you think to yourself, oh, it's a good thing at the time. But once you actually sit down and think about it, then you're like, maybe not the correct decision.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
what that's what we're talking about. Really, that's one of the purposes of this to recognize that there are challenges in life, and it's about looking at the bigger picture, isn't it? Really, and the
yeah.
long term goal. So you get through phase one and phase two, and then you got posted to your first unit. Was that?
So that was in Hyderabad Barracks at the time in Colchester. So I went there in June 1997. Um, as I say, that's in Colchester. The battalion were deployed when I arrived. They were in Northern Ireland, in County Fermanagh. So it was obviously just a rear party. So we got there and it was like just taskings, doing, go and work in the MT yard, go and work in the QMs.
And that's because you were only 17, isn't it?
Yeah, I was only 17 when I got there, yeah. So yeah, the first sort of two and a bit months were just doing jobs around camp, doing painting the grass, picking up the leaves, all that sort of good stuff that
Yeah.
we done back then. And then
I
so
love that
obviously
term, painting the grass. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
actually painted the grass, Joe. It's not a term, I've actually done it.
No, I know. Well, yeah.
Doing
It's a good job. I remember painting coal white of all things. Yeah,
bad in it.
yeah,
So when I'm sure also, as you know, when you go to when you get deployed, you've got to be 18 years old, 18 years of age or older. So I can remember I was laying in my bed the morning about 18:30, and I was in a four-man room at the time, and the door gets banged open. Where's Private Tant? Top of his voice. So jumps up. Yeah, that's me, Sergeant. Is that get your kit packed? 2 hours time, you're going to Northern Ireland. Is that? But it's my birthday. Is that? I don't give a.
flying.
Doing,
I don't give a flying. What do you call it? Yeah.
yeah.
Happy
Um,
birthday, son.
so I was like, oh my God, what's going on here? So 2 hours later, my kit packed. I was in the back of a van, getting driven to Stansted Airport to get flown out to Northern Ireland. And I thought myself at the time, I was like, what is going on here? I don't even know, like, I don't know anything about Northern Ireland. I don't even know where Northern Ireland is. You
Yeah.
know, I was like, oh my God. But
And by
anyway,
the way, you're flying out there on your own because your lads, your friends, are already out there, aren't they?
well, I didn't know anyone that was out there.
No,
But
mind you, you'd only just
obviously,
got there, didn't you?
yeah, because like when I got there, the rear party and the rear party guys had stayed. You know, they were all either non-deployable for whatever reasons, either termination or injured or whatever the scenario was.
Yeah.
So yeah, so when I arrived, I got sent to Wattlebridge Patrol Base in the southern part of County Fermanagh, where I met my new platoon, 1 Platoon A Company. Um, also they welcomed me in, showed me the ropes, showed me what we're doing. Got a few educational kicks and punches to welcome. This is it. This is how the army works. You're a new lad. Take the heavy kit, etc., etc. But yeah, that was good. Also, the tour, thankfully, went without any issues. Enjoyed the experience of being away and also meeting the lads. That was all good. So yeah, we then came back to Colchester and went in normal routine. So like we'd do exercise even camp, we'd get deployed to with Autobahn. I think we went to Canada on an exercise, which was good. So we went with so we had a company of Nepalese soldiers, D company attached to us. So they got deployed to Canada for 8 weeks, and we had to have a certain amount of jocks with them, so to speak. So yeah, I got told I was going there, and it was good. It was we've done all sorts of different scenarios. We've done section attack patrols, company attacks, and then the best part for me is we've done a 3-day escape and evasion exercise.
They're all interesting, yeah.
So I got put in a team with 2 Nepalese chaps. One was a lance corporal, one was a corporal, and I can remember they said to me, says, right, says, we'll have the best time. We'll have the best time. I was like, okay. So we left, and about an hour into it, it stopped short. I said, right, we'll be away here for about 10 minutes. We'll get catch a rabbit. And he caught this rabbit and showed me how to skin it and stuff. I was like, oh my God, what is going on here? But no, it was good. Eventually we got caught, and I say they roughed us up a little bit. We didn't anything too bad, doing a couple of punches just to say, like, this is what would happen if you got caught. But no, it was good. And then we had 2 or 3 days off at the end. Obviously, I couldn't drink. I wasn't old enough to drink.
Yeah.
But yeah, just good to get some downtime in my first overseas exercise.
And I mean, at such a young age, that would have been an eye opener to be working. I take it the Gurkhas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're cracking soldiers. Them, I've worked with them.
Yeah, they're really good. And I work with Gurkhas again now, in my job that I do at the minute. And they're professional. I mean, they're really good at a job, like, especially as you can imagine back in infantry.
Yeah. And they're so proud to be working for the Crown in Britain.
Yeah.
And when they go home, because I've been to Nepal a few times on expeditions, and when they get home at Kathmandu, a lot of them walk home, and they've got a few days walk or even if they get the bus to the outback, and then they got to walk through the jungle before they get anywhere. They're just phenomenal people. Yeah. So you do that, and then you get your posting, and I know you're on. You're actually in camp, so I get it. If there's any background noise, that's okay, mate.
Yeah, I do apologize for that.
No, it's okay. So when you got a job to do, so you've just taken time to sit on this podcast with me while you're on your break. So at this age, right? So what's going on in your mind, and where you going next after this posting?
So we come back to Colchester, and again we're just doing normal stuff, guard duties, etc. And then we get told we're going to Northern Ireland on a 18-month residential tour. At this time, I met my first wife. So we were dating for probably about 3 or 4 months before I got told I was getting posted. So I was like, oh, okay, well, how does this work? So I said, well, we can either try a long distance relationship. I'll come back when I can. You can come over when you want, sort of thing. Or if we get married, we could get married. And she's like, yeah, I'll get married. So we got married in June 2000, and we moved to Northern Ireland in the August of 2000. Yeah. So yeah, that was a rush. It was a rush, but I think it was what we both wanted. Do you mean it wasn't a case of we must get married because I'm getting posted? And so yeah, we moved there, and I think it was quite hard for her because as soon as I'm there, I'm away doing all sorts of stuff. Do you mean I'm on duty? Yeah. I'm away up at Drumcree in the marching season. as you know, like you don't stop. So that's the first time she's been away from home. So she's probably missed home quite a bit.
And how old was your wife then? Because you're about 21, aren't you, at this point?
Yeah, so I was 21 and she was 22.
Right, okay.
So yeah, so it was quite hard for us. So she went back home quite a few times, and then we got told halfway through that tour we were getting sent to Edinburgh, which is my official hometown.
Yeah.
So I'm ecstatic at this point. I'm thinking happy days back to Edinburgh, see my family,
Mm.
go and watch my football team, which is Hearts, doing all this stuff's going through my mind. Um, and then obviously I tell my wife at the time, she's like, yeah, that's fine, we can go there, that's not a problem. I think she was a little bit disappointed because she wanted to go back to Colchester, but that's going to come on too late in the conversation. So we get to Edinburgh, we get put in an army house initially, and then we went by our own house in a little village called Winstrah, which is about 20 miles to the west of Edinburgh. Little two-bed house, which is quite nice. So I settled down, and it was nice to have that break away from the military. So when I finish work, I'm away from it, and it's good for her as well. And then so that was good. And then my son was born in December 2024. Mikey, he's now 20 years old. So that is great because obviously that made a family complete. I mean, we thought, oh, happy days, what a baby. Brought us quite close as a family. And then we found out quite early on that Mikey, he wasn't developing how he should be developing. And he's got autism and he's got muscle problems. So like, he can't run and stuff like that. He can walk fine, but he just can't run.
Yeah.
But that's fine. He gets on with it. He's a good lad. Do you mean?
Oh, that's good.
And then we get posted to Iraq in 2006 as a battalion over to Iraq. So at this point, I'm part of the signals platoon. So I go across as the signals detachment commander of Charlie Company. So I'm responsible for making sure all the radios and the ECM correct equipment is serviceable for the lads on patrol. So it's quite a responsible job. One that I'm happy to get involved in. Do you mean? And again, thankfully, the tour goes off without any real issues. While we're there, we get told we are going to amalgamate the Scottish regiments. So we got chosen to amalgamate the Kings and Scottish Borderers, become one Scots.
The Cosbys, as they were known. Yeah, I served.
Yeah, Cosby, yeah.
I served in Osnabrück with. I remember. Yeah. And you know, like I know we're flicking through, and it's a good timeline. I mean, you had your first child, and then you find out they've got autism, and some troubles or challenges with the muscles and can't walk. How was that? How do you think that was affecting you as a dad, and your wife as a mum? And the fact that you were moving to different places and getting posted, told where you were going to go?
It was difficult, and it still is to a certain extent because obviously you don't want any disability, whether it's physical or mental or whatever, on anyone, do you? Not even like specifically not your own family. So it was difficult for us, and it was hard to get support because back then it wasn't really a thing. Do you mean it wasn't really spoken about? And as I say, it took us some time to get obviously a proper diagnosis for it. And it's that feeling of if I could take it away from him and give it to myself, I would. Do you mean? And as I said, fast forward to like today, he gets on with it. He's got himself a job. Do you mean he's extremely clever? He's training to be an accountant.
Oh wow, fantastic!
It's not stopped him. Do you mean?
So you must be a proud dad then.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I've got my two kids and then my two step kids, which I'll talk about in a bit. I'm proud of all four of them. All four of them are doing amazing. Do you mean?
Yeah. So
But
you,
yeah, so
so
yeah,
then
so
you
go
came up with
sorry, go
your,
on.
yeah, you came up with your next challenge, was, in 2006, you were deployed, weren't you?
Yeah, so the point in Northern Ireland, as I said, sorry, Iraq, and I was doing the signal detachment's job, which I spoke about. And while we were there, we got told we were amalgamating with one Scots to become one Scots, and a lot of the jobs were shuffled about, and they're saying, "Well, you've got a job here, you've got a job there, you've got," and I got told that I had a job in Germany with four Scots at the time. So I was like, "Yep, okay, fine, not a problem." So going back to we're getting ready to go back to Edinburgh after Iraq. Told my wife at the time, and she's like, "Well, I'm not going to Germany. I'll go to Colchester with Mikey." I'm like, "Well, how does that work for me? What does that leave me doing?" Like, and she's like, "Well, you've got a decision to make. You go to Germany, or you try something else, or get out." I was like, "Well, I'm not leaving the army." She says, "The army's like what I know." So I looked at a few jobs that I could possibly transfer to, and the one that kept on coming up was the Royal Military Police, RMP. So I went and done a 2 week look at life thing with them in Catterick, and it was really, really eye opening, really insightful. I thought, I can see myself doing this. So I put my papers into transfer, which were accepted, and it took about 2 months for it to go through, which I was quite impressed with. And then I went down to Portsmouth and to Suffolk Park, where we do the phase 2 training for RMP, which was 12 weeks of the call. And that was a real eye opener because me being 9 years in at that point, I would have thought, well, I'm a pro screw, I'm respected. Went down there, got there within 30 seconds to a minute. I was getting bawled out and marched across the grade script by the sergeant. I'm thinking, what have I done?
And I mean, what a change around from right, being a young lad, 14, 15, told by police, if you don't buck up, mate, you're going to end up in the deep brown sticky stuff in jail. And now you're training to be a copper.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Just how the sucker of life just goes round, doesn't it? It just, you think to yourself, go from being at that point to then, yeah, it was good. It was, I couldn't explain it at the time. Like, if you'd said to me back then, "Oh, you'll be in the RMP," I'd about that. Nah, no thanks. Do you mean? Because they've got a bad name for themselves, haven't they, the RMP? And I think some of it is not justified, but I think a lot of it is justified. But yeah, so I've done the training down there, and that went well. Also getting taught all the legal stuff that you need to know, all your restraint techniques, interview techniques, basically how to investigate stuff. So yeah, it's really enjoyable. And then halfway through the training, they give you your post and preference performer form to say where you'd like to get posted to. So I spoke to my wife. I said, "Look," I says, "I can go anywhere." She says, "Just because I put 1, 2, 3, 4 choices down, I might not get it." So she said, "Well, put Colchester your first choice." So I put Colchester, and I actually got my first choice, which I was quite happy about. So
Fantastic.
I got sent to 156 Provost Company in Colchester, and I was doing also the shift, just a shift body as a corporal, because also I haven't got the experience. Normally, the corporal stroke sergeant is like the shift commander, but because I was brand new, I wasn't allowed to do that, which you can understand. And again, that was great. We then started training to go to Afghanistan. I was there for about 3, 4 months. No, I was there for about 8 months at that point, sorry. And then, yeah, about 8 months. And then my wife was heavily pregnant with my daughter. And I was like, okay, right, how does this work? So Rosie brought me in and says, "Yeah, you'll do all the training, you'll deploy. When your daughter's born, we'll get you back as soon as we can." I was like, "Yep, fine, happy days." And then about 4 days before we went to deploy, he says, second thoughts, we'll leave you here, and once your wife's had the baby, then you can come out. So I wasn't happy, and I told him I wasn't happy because I don't know the train as a way, don't know the train, all the exercises that you do. So my daughter was born, had my 2 weeks off, went in, seen the rear party captain, and says, right, I'm good to go. Is that, nah, you'll only go out if someone gets injured and brought back, you'll replace them. Thankfully, from a army's perspective, nobody got injured. From a selfish point of view, I was gutted that no one got injured because I wanted to also go there. But thankfully, none of my colleagues got injured, which is good. So I didn't go to Afghanistan.
Well, that was a bittersweet moment, I suppose, because it would have been, if you had gone out there, it would have been better if you could just go out there,
Yeah.
obviously, and with no one
Yeah.
getting injured. So I understand where the push and pull came from. Thankfully, no one got injured. And how did that affect your marriage then? What was going on?
Obviously, it was exciting because we had a little baby again, which you obviously kids, you love your kids, don't you? So that was good. But I had a bit of resentment, Joe, if I'm honest with you, because I was in a new job. I wanted to make a good impression, and they were keen because of my experience in the infantry. They were keen to take me as well because obviously out in Afghanistan on patrol, and one of the units we got attached to were 5 Scots. So I knew a lot of the lads in 5 Scots as well. So I was thinking, oh, it'd be great to catch up with the lads I've not seen for a few years. Do you mean? So yeah, a bit resentment toward my ex-wife. But obviously she can't help being pregnant, can she? It's one of those things. But yeah,
and I mean, it's got nothing to do with you, mate, has it really?
No, nothing, mate, nothing at all, no.
So yeah, you got to shoulder some of the blame there, mate. I'm coming to the rescue of your ex a little bit there. Yeah. I can see.
We got over it, and we just got on with it. And then in 2009, or just beginning of 2009, my RSM at the time at the RMP says, look, mate, it says, if you want to push on, because you're a transferee, a voluntary transfer, you've got to get sent to Germany and get the police work, because that's where we're busy. That's where you get loads of experience. So I was like, okay. So I was like, yeah, I'll go there. And told my wife, and she's like, no, again, I'm not going, I'm staying here with the kids. So I thought, really, how often would I get back from Germany? How often would she come out? So against my better judgment, I was 12 years in at that point. Against my better judgment, I signed off. Had my notice in, done my termination time, and then left. So when I left, I had obviously no qualifications. So I was like, well, what can I do? So I started doing a job as a delivery driver for Asda supermarket. It was all right. Do you mean it was like just getting the van, do your own thing? Do you mean you're your own boss, just driving around, and as long as you've done your deliveries, you were left alone. But it just didn't feel like enough, Joe. Do you mean it just? I wasn't being pushed. So I then applied to transfer departments, and I've then done security at the front of the store at Asda. Again, that was good. There was days where you'd get a few shoplifters, so you'd able to get involved and chase them or wrestle them to the floor, what the scenario is. But again, there's something missing. So we were constantly arguing at home. Do you mean? The money wasn't the same because also, as you know, in the military, you get paid quite a good wage. So I put a bit of strain. She was working extra hours. I was doing what I could to try and make the money up. So we were arguing, and then this has gone on well for about 2 years on and off arguing. She'd go and sleep at her mum's. I'd sleep on the sofa.
So it was pretty tough then. So then,
yeah, it was, and
then the crunch came.
Yeah, it wasn't a good environment for the kids either, Joe. Do you mean like a good atmosphere for kids? They were obviously witnessing the arguments. So the crunch came at the beginning of 2013, and it was like we were getting to a stage where whatever I was doing wasn't enough. And the day that broke the camel back, she went to work and says, "Could you paint the stairs and landing?" I was like, yeah, of course I can. Okay. So I done it. Thought, oh, I've done a good job here. She got in from work and she said, you've missed this bit, you've missed that bit. Just like constantly on at me. I was like, well, if you can do any better, I took a paintbrush and that I was using away and started packing my stuff to, I've had enough. So I packed my car and no idea what I was going to do or where I was going, just packed my car, packed all my stuff in my car. And then I started driving to Scotland. I was like, so I got about an hour down the road, I was thinking, what am I doing? I don't even know where I'm going to go. You know what I mean? When will I see my kids again if I go to Scotland? So I turned round, parked outside the house for about an hour, and I went in, I says, right, I says, I'm sleeping on the sofa tonight, we'll sort something out in the morning. So unbeknown to me, she had phoned her mum. So her mum was trying to phone me, which I ignored. So I spoke to her mum in the morning, she's like, I know it's not ideal, but I've got a spare room at mine. She says, I'll give you a key, you can stay there as long as you want, let's try and sort this out. So I was like, nah, I'm done. I was at that stage where the straw had snapped. I thought, nah.
So then that's all right. So what you're thinking of then? What's the next? How long does it take you to get to it? Because you've had ups and downs now in your life. You've had highs, you've had lows, and now it's pretty low as you go. You're thinking, I'm not going to see my kids again. I've been there. I know what that's like. So what is it that just helps you deal with that failure at that time to just smash through it? What did you use?
Well, initially, if I'm honest with you, Joe, I turned to drink initially, and it was I met an old friend who I'm still in touch with now. He's at drink's not the answer. Sort yourself out. And then I got into my fitness quite a lot. So I was running. Like that got me into a good place. And then it was just having friends around. So my son Mikey had joined the Scout Association. So I had a lot of friends in that organisation. Quite a lot of females as well, not just males. And they're like, look, if you could chat, just come and speak to us. So it was a good network of individuals, all different ages. So there's some people my age, some people a lot older. And they all said, look, you do what's good for you. If you think it's done and there's nothing you can resolve from it, you've got to stay in the area because you won't see your kids. You've got to think of your kids, blah, blah, blah. So I was super suffering for 3 or 4 months. And then there's a lady in the Scouts called Hayley, who incidentally is now my new wife. She, so when I first met her, as I said to you earlier, we didn't get on. She thought I was arrogant. I thought she was bossy. But anyway, she had a house.
Match made in heaven, really.
Yeah. So she had a house that was empty that she was renting out that just become vacant. And she was, look, if you want this house, it's a 2-bedroom house. You can rent it off me. We'll do it all above boards. It's all done through like a sure short tenancy agreement. So we've done all that, and that was fine. And we sort of grew together as a friends, as in tenant, sort of landlady sort of relationship. And the more and more I liked her, I thought, more and more I seen, I thought, she's actually all right. So we got chatting one night, and I said, oh, do you fancy going for a meal? And then met up a few more times, and then we started dating. And I thought, this seems different, but not just for me, because when I was sat down with her as well, she says, it feels to me as if something's missing from your life. What's missing? And when I sat down and thought about it, I says, I feel cheated. I feel cheated that I've not done my time in the army. I joined the army. When I joined the army in 1996, I wanted to do 22 years, and I feel cheated. And I was looking back, Joe, I was looking at my friends that I joined the army with, and they were pushing on sergeants, car sergeants, some of them W2s, W1s. You mean you think that could? No, I'm not saying it would have been, but that could have been me. You mean? So I thought about joining back up, and I actually reached out to Royal Scots. I said, look, if I came back in, how does that look? And that, well, you'd have to go and do some training again because you've been for so long, some fitness tests, medicals. I said, okay, what about my rank? And that, you'll start again as a private soldier. At that point, I was just about 35 years old. I'm thinking, do I want to be starting again in the trenches, for a better phrase, at 35 years old, getting the infantry?
So what was the answer?
No,
Right.
no.
So what did you do instead?
So a friend of mine says, have you thought about doing the MPGS, which is a Military Provost Guard Service? I says, what's that? I don't know what that is. So I looked into it and I thought, yeah, that could work. So it's shift work, security camps, 4 days on, 4 days off. Don't deploy on exercises or deployments. So I thought, you're back in green kit, it's in the army, it's in the military, you're getting told what to do, what you like.
Yeah.
Also not from my wife, but as a sort of job and routine sort of way.
So you're in the so the Military Provost Guard Service, which effectively is the police again, isn't it? In some respect, you're
yeah,
security.
Yeah, in some respects, but we don't have any power or anything like that to like go and arrest people or anything like that.
No. So what? So you're in there now. You pass your training, and you're in a relationship with Hayley. How's life looking for you now?
It's looking good. In fact, amazing. In fact, like new relationship, all good. 2 step kids also brought into the fold, which is also amazing. Still a few ups and downs because obviously once I start dating Hayley, then my ex-wife starts playing about with access to the kids. So that's quite stressful. Going
so
through
you still improvise, adapt, and overcome. So how do you deal with failure? I mean, because I can see that during our chat, you've gone through a bit of stuff and probably leaving the army when you weren't ready to leave, but you did it to sacrifice for your family, and then that didn't go exactly the way to plan. What do you do when you hit a roadblock, failure?
When I have any failures in my life, what I do is I write down in block capitals what the failure is, and then I'll then look at the attributes that caused it, and then I'll look at then the path that I can get out of it. So if you look at basically the split of my ex-wife, obviously I plan to drink, and I'm thinking, well, if I keep doing that path, I'm then going to health repercussions. Might not be here to see my kids, but what's the things that push me out of this? My kids. So I focused on them. Do you mean? And then likewise, when I had a chat with Hayley about what's missing, the military, I had to get back into the military. And yes, I probably could have went back in the infantry, but it was a hardship of being in that role, doing that job that I've done again at 35 years old.
Yeah, and starting from the bottom. Yeah, that's a tough.
Don't get me wrong. When you join the MPGS, you start again as a private, but there's none of the nonsense of you come in, you do your job, you go home. There's but yeah, so and I've been doing that now for just over 9 years. Got promoted back to corporal, and yeah, it's good.
And now you're looking forward to other stuff, aren't you? I mean, what do you think from your journey? Because we'll talk about what you're doing now and what you're doing in the future in a second. How important do you think it is to have a strong support network around you, whether that's being in business, because I know Hayley's in business, and a social network?
I think it's absolutely massive and extremely important, because if you've got nobody to support you now, for me, support isn't just people go and smoke up their backside. It's also people telling you when you're wrong or when you've made a mistake. Because if you haven't got that, then you're not going to learn and push on. So if you've got people that you can knock ideas off of and say, now, I always think to myself, would I ask Joe Bloggs for support on my marriage or advice on my marriage or whatever? No. So I've got a really small network of people that I trust, and that's probably about 4 people, 5 people. And the reason I keep that tight is because then I know that if I tell them something in confidence and that gets out, I know it's one of 4 people. Do you mean?
You know where it's come from.
Yeah. And I've always done that, like from about late teens to now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fabulous. And what I mean, I know Hayley, and I know how much you care for each other, which is absolutely brilliant. What's the one thing, one tip you give to someone who's coming out of the military, or is already out of the military and is just wondering what to do, or maybe is doing all right but wants to get better results? What would you give them as a top tip?
the top tip for me would be to have that end goal or that job that you want before you leave. Because a lot of individuals get out, because I'll come at it in a minute, but we've joined sources of an organisation that help people leave the military. And a lot of guys leave with nothing, no idea what they've got to do.
Yeah.
So before you even decide that I'm getting out, think, what have I got to take with me and what can I do with it?
Which brings me nicely onto the next point, which how valuable and transferable do you think the skills are that you learn in the military to Civvy Street?
You'd be surprised on how many people, again, I think a lot of soft skills are transferable.
Yeah.
I mean, like turn up, you're punctual, you turn up on time, you turn up smart, presentable, you mean, good communicators.
Yeah, I
All
mean,
these
and
things,
for people
all
who
these
are
things are
listening,
transferable.
for people who are listening on Spotify or Apple, I can see the creases. There's no creases in your kit except where they're supposed to be, and they raise
Yeah.
the sharp. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just like old school drilled into you. I mean, and it's again, so transferable skills you've got loads, and I think it's important that people focus on what they've got and what they can get in the military. I mean, there's loads of courses available. Like I just done last week. I just done a radiation safety officer course
Yeah.
paid for by the army. Do you mean?
Yeah, it's
Like
fabulous. So all those skills. So what's happening now? What does the future hold for you? And I know that you're working with the Armed Forces Business Centre, don't you? And you work with
yeah.
other things. So what's going on in your life now?
So we set up myself and Hayley set up a business 2 years ago called Property Springs Group. Where we help military personnel get on the housing ladder. Now that can be people that are still serving, that can be veterans, and basically we help them in all different kinds of ways. So we help them if they haven't got the time to find a property themselves, but they've got the money if they want to invest, or we also help them if they can't get a mortgage for whatever reason. There's a load of reasons people can't get a mortgage. Right? It could be they've got bad debt, or they've been self-employed after leaving the military. And we focus all over the country. We're based also in Colchester, but we do have contacts up and down the country.
Yeah.
And we've helped, I don't know, we've probably helped about 10, 11 people so far.
And the numbers are just growing as well. Yeah.
Yeah, we just keep going. We've joined forces with the Armed Forces Business Centre, as you said, which are a great organisation, again based in Colchester, and they help Blue Light and also Military Forces, sorry, Armed Forces, and we've also joined forces with a team called the Forces Transition Group, and they help people with their CVs. They do events up and down the country, and we get a lot of referrals from them.
Yeah.
And it's good. And our aim isn't to build an empire. It's not about that. Our focus is we want to help anyone in the military that wants a house of their own to get on that property ladder. I mean, we offer advice free of charge initially, and then also depending on where we want to go, then also there's a cost, but we can do in it's.
Yeah, well, I know it's reasonable because I know we work together, and I've been down to the Armed Forces Business Centre to give presentations and on a podcast. So yeah, it's fabulous what you're doing. So thank you for your time. How can people get in touch with you?
So they can find us on Facebook or Instagram, which is Property Springs Group on both of the, or our email address is hmrt@propertyspringsgroup.co.uk.
Thank you very much, Michael. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, as always. Thank you for sharing a lot of sensitive information there and being open and honest. It's been fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
And remember, if you want to successfully become, visit joelteams.com. That's Joel joeteams.com, joeteams.com, where you will find loads of resources to help you get the success you deserve. And until we meet again, have a brilliant day. Thank you. joeteams.com is a resource I have created to fulfill my mission to help 1 million veterans and business entrepreneurs like you achieve the goals, dreams, and aspirations they deserve. joeteams.com is jam-packed full of valuable resources specifically designed to help you on your journey to success. Visit joeteams.com now to find out how you can join and start your journey to success immediately. That's joeteams.com, joeteams, joeteams.com. And until we meet again, have a brilliant day.